Imagine this for a moment. You open your mouth to speak English, and people don't just understand your words, they feel them. Your voice flows naturally. Your pronunciation sounds clear, confident, and almost effortless. And suddenly, people start listening to you differently. They respect you more. They pay attention. They connect. But here is the quiet truth many people don't realize. Accent is not just about how you speak. It is about how you listen, how you observe, how you feel the language inside you. And today, I want to take you on a gentle journey, a step-by-step story, not just to improve your English accent, but to transform the way you experience English itself. Let me tell you a small story. There was a boy named Arjun. He loved English. He watched videos, read books, and learned new words every day. But every time he spoke, people would ask him to repeat. Some would smile politely, others would not understand him at all. And slowly, something began to change inside him. He stopped speaking. Not because he didn't know English, but because he didn't feel confident in how he sounded. Now maybe, somewhere deep inside you have felt this too, and that is where our journey begins. Step 1: you learn to listen. Not just hear. Most people think speaking comes first. But the truth is, listening comes first. Deep listening. When you listen carefully to English, you start noticing small things, how words stretch, how sounds connect, how the voice rises and falls like a soft wave. Arjun used to watch videos just to understand meaning. But one day, he changed something. He stopped focusing on meaning and started focusing on sound. He listened to the same sentence again and again, not to understand, but to feel. And slowly, something magical started happening. His ears began to recognize patterns, because your brain learns language the same way a child does, through sound first. As you heard in the idea of focused learning, when you give full attention, your mind absorbs much more deeply. So before you try to speak better, learn to listen better. Step 29: observe the mouth. Not just the words. Now let me share something very simple, but very powerful. Accent is physical. It lives in your lips, your tongue, your jaw. Arjun started watching how native speakers moved their mouths. He paused videos. He replayed small clips. He noticed how h sounds required the tongue to come forward, how v touched the lower lip, how or rolled slightly. At first, it felt strange, uncomfortable, but growth often lives in discomfort. Just like learning anything new, you must allow yourself to feel awkward before you feel natural. And slowly, his mouth started learning new positions. This is something many people skip. They try to sound better without training their muscles. But your mouth needs practice just like your mind. Step 3: slow down your speech. Now here is a mistake many learners make. They try to speak fast, because they think fluency means speed, but real fluency is clarity. Arjun used to rush his sentences. Words would mix. Sounds would disappear. So one day, he made a simple decision. He slowed down. He spoke one word at a time, clearly, gently, with space. And something beautiful happened. People started understanding him more. Because when you slow down, your brain gets time to guide your mouth. And your listener gets time to receive your message. Remember, slow is smooth and smooth becomes fast. Step 4: repeat like a mirror now. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. Not to see your face, but to see your sound. Arjun started using a simple technique. He would listen to one sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly. Not in his own way, but in their way. Same rhythm, same tone, same emotion. Again and again and again. At first it felt like copying, but slowly it became learning. Because repetition is one of the most powerful ways your brain builds memory. When you repeat over time, your mind strengthens the connection naturally. And over time, his voice began to change, not suddenly, but softly, like a sunrise you don't notice until the light fills the sky. Step 5a. Feel the rhythm of English. English is not just words. It is music. There is a rhythm, a flow, a rise and fall. Some words are strong. Some words are soft. Arjun discovered that native speakers don't stress every word equally. They say, "I went to the market." Not flat, but musical. So he started listening to this rhythm and copying it. And suddenly his speech didn't just sound correct. It sounded alive. Step 6. Practice daily. Even in silence. Now here is something very gentle, but very important. You don't always need people to practice. You can practice alone. Arjun would walk and speak softly to himself. He would describe things around him, repeat sentences, play with sounds. Even when no one was listening, he was improving. Because consistency matters more than intensity. Small daily effort creates deep change over time. Just like small actions, repeated daily shape your skills and habits. So even 10 minutes a day can slowly transform your accent. Step 7. Remove fear. Invite curiosity. Now let me sit with you for a moment. Because this step is not about technique. It is about emotion. Many people don't improve their accent, not because they can't, but because they are afraid. Afraid of mistakes. Afraid of judgment. Afraid of sounding wrong. But remember this, every fluent speaker you admire once sounded broken too. Arjun made mistakes every day, but instead of judging himself, he became curious. How can I say this better? What did I miss here? How does this sound feel? And curiosity opened his growth. Because when you judge yourself, you stop learning. But when you stay curious, you keep improving. And slowly, day by day, something changed. Not just his accent, but his confidence, his energy, his identity. He was no longer someone who knew English. He became someone who felt English. Now let me gently ask you something. What if your accent is not a problem, but a process? A process of listening, observing, repeating, and growing. Because this journey is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming clear, confident, and connected. Now we move into the deepest part of this journey, the part where everything becomes real, where your learning turns into daily life. Because knowing steps is one thing, but living them, feeling them every day, that is where transformation truly happens. So let me sit with you calmly and guide you into a daily rhythm, a way of living English, not just studying it. The daily accent routine, a quiet discipline. Imagine your day beginning not with pressure, but with a soft intention. Just like your mind is fresh in the morning, like a blank page, you have the chance to shape your voice before the world speaks to you. Arjun started doing this, not for hours, not with stress, but with presence. Morning, 10 minutes of listening and feeling. In the morning, don't rush into speaking. Just listen. Choose one small audio, one voice, one speaker. Sit quietly and listen with full attention, not for meaning, but for music. Notice the rise, the fall, the pauses, the softness. Let the sound enter you, like calm water filling a cup. Because the way you start your morning shapes how your mind learns throughout the day. Midday, 5 minutes of mirror practice. Now during your day, take a small pause. Stand in front of a mirror. Speak slowly. Watch your lips, your tongue, your expression. Not to criticize, but to understand. Say one sentence again and again. I am improving every day. I can speak clearly. Feel the movement. Because when you see yourself, you become aware, and awareness creates control. Evening shadowing practice. In the evening, when the day slows down, play your chosen audio again. This time, speak with it. Not before, not after, but with it. Let your voice walk beside the speaker, matching rhythm, matching tone. At first, your voice may break, may lag, may struggle. That's okay. Growth always looks messy before it becomes smooth. Night soft reflection, no judgment, and at night, just reflect. Not with pressure, but with kindness. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? Where did I improve, even a little? Because improvement is often invisible. Just like you learned, progress grows quietly under the surface before it becomes visible. The hidden secret most people miss now. Let me tell you something very honest. Most people fail not because they don't know how, but because they stop too soon. They expect fast results. They want a perfect accent in weeks. But language is like growing a tree. It needs time, patience, repetition. Even when you don't see results, something is changing inside you. Your ears are sharpening. Your mouth is adjusting. Your confidence is building. And one day, suddenly, you will speak, and it will feel different. The emotional shift from fear to expression. Now come a little deeper, because accent is not just physical. It is emotional. Many people hold tension while speaking English. Their voice becomes tight, restricted, controlled. Why? Because of fear. Fear of mistakes. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being enough. But your voice needs freedom. Just like a person opens up when they feel safe, your voice opens up when your mind feels calm. So when you speak, relax your shoulders. Breathe slowly. Allow your voice to flow, not force it. Because confidence is not loud, it is relaxed. Train your mind like a quiet observer. Do you remember something we spoke about earlier? Observation. The same skill you use to understand people, you now use to understand language. When you listen, observe patterns. When you speak, observe your sound. When you improve, observe your progress. Not with judgment, but with curiosity. Because curiosity keeps your mind open, and growth only happens in an open mind. The 1% mindset for accent. Now let me share something powerful with you. Most people stay average because they stay comfortable, but improvement lives in discomfort. When it feels hard to repeat, when it feels strange to copy, when it feels awkward to speak, that is exactly where growth is happening. Just like stepping out of comfort builds strength and transformation, your accent improves when you practice beyond ease. So don't run from that feeling. Walk into it gently, patiently. A final story, the quiet transformation. Months passed. Arjun didn't become perfect overnight. There were days he felt stuck, days he felt slow, but he didn't stop. And one day, something unexpected happened. He was speaking, and he didn't think about pronunciation or accent or mistakes. He was just expressing, and the person in front of him understood him clearly. No confusion, no repetition, just connection. And in that moment, he smiled, because he realized the journey was never about sounding like someone else. It was about becoming clear, natural, and confident in his own voice. Now sit with this feeling for a moment. Your journey is not far away. It is already happening slowly, quietly, inside you. Every time you listen, every time you repeat, every time you try, you are changing. And remember, you don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to continue. Because in the end, accent is not about impressing people. It is about expressing yourself clearly, calmly, and confidently.